During the war of words at the start of the Sands North by-election campaign, Deputy Premier Walter Roban said the opposition's policies continue to be seen as anti-Bermudian. He said the OBA's, quote, dedication to opening the immigration floodgates and slashing Bermudian government jobs remains a threat to all of us who believe that Bermudians must come first, end quote.
The PLP is prepared to stand up for the policies and programs that we put in place. We're not going to allow misinformation from an opposition that has no plans, and frankly, one might argue they may have no future.
In his opinion piece, the Deputy Premier said the OBA's record is one of an economy where Bermudian jobs shrank while non-Bermudian jobs flourished.
What's your data for that?
I think the data is clear, and anyone can go and look it up. The OBA promised thousands of jobs, and thousands of jobs were lost. That has been very different from the situation since then, where jobs have grown. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in recent history.
Government employment data does show total jobs in Bermuda falling in the first years after the OBA was elected in December 2012. This continued the job exodus following the 2008 financial crisis. Overall, we lost nearly 7,000 jobs in 7 years, from 2008 to 2012 under the PLP, and then 2012 to 2015 under the OBA.
Then at 2015, they started to rise again. We go through to 2019, the pandemic, there's a drop in jobs. By 2022, which is the latest employment tabulations, they're starting to rise again. So isn't it a bit of a blanket statement to say jobs only fell through, under the OBA and they only rose under the PLP?
The OBA during their administration promised thousands of jobs, and they lost thousands of jobs. And those jobs that were gained were not necessarily jobs that improved the Bermudian position in the marketplace.
Again, I looked at the employment tabulations. Employment, as we see, overall fell, started to rise again in 2015, and then dropped in the pandemic. But as a share of employment, in 2012, Bermudian employment was 71%. 2017, 70%. 2019, 69%, 2022, 70%. As a percentage of overall employment in Bermuda, according to government statistics, there has not been a huge change. All jobs fell, all jobs went up, all jobs fell. It stayed relatively same as a share of jobs. So isn't that, to a degree, misinformation? To say it's anti-Bermudian when, from the point of view of overall employment, it's remained relatively the same.
Mr. Skelton, if Bermudians have felt secure in their economic and job security during the 2012 to 2017 period, the OBA would have been re-elected on that point. They were not, because people did not feel secure.
I'm not asking about how people are feeling. I'm asking about the actual data.
Data is one thing, but the people's feeling, how they sense their security is also important. They didn't feel secure, irrespective of what the data says. That's why they were not re-elected.
You're saying that in this circumstance, the data isn't important?
No. I'm just saying is that the people's response to their condition was important, and they responded in how they felt at the time. If you want to quibble over data, that's fine. I'm commenting on what I know, how people felt at the time, irrespective of what the data said. They didn't feel that the then government was promoting Bermudians in the workplace. That's fine what the data says, but that is actually what the reality and what the truth happened. It was a period.
You're saying the reality is not what the data said.
No, I am saying is that people responded to their own reality, irrespective of what the data said.
Gary Foster Skelton for Bermuda Broadcasting News.